Hello guys, this is Jack, also known as Paranova XX, and and I thought I'd just update you guys on all my work on my new zombie survival game. Basically, I wasn't happy with the old one, and I decided just to completely recode it, take out some of the plugins that weren't made by me personally, just kind of plugins I found that were just doing what they needed to do at the moment. But now we got, as you can see, we got what we call PNS main, PNS lag, vault, PNS scoreboard, and economy, which are only 5 plugins on the server, and it does near the exact same thing that the other server has, and that server has somewhere around 20. I don't remember the exact number. And I think it does it a little bit better, and the reason I'm in I have shaders on is because I think they look cool. And you can't do them in 1.6 yet, so I'm kind of bummed down on that. So let's see if we can go find a zombie real quick. They also do not burn in the daylight. So here, let me just /GM myself here, and we'll just kind of go look at them. They spawn in these huge groups, and they also have a little bit of a head glitch thing apparently. So they don't burn the sunlight. As you can see, it is day outside. Wow, I'm lagging really bad. Sorry guys, if this turns out really bad, I'll make a new video. So they don't burn the daylight. In the daylight they don't spawn as often. Just by a little bit though. It's not really much at all. Nothing to really note much. So I wouldn't. Whoa. Alright, I wouldn't like bet on there's going to be less out there, and as of right now I have no way of getting rid of any of them. As you can see, all I have is TP, TPA, GM, day, night, heal, and weather, and that's not actually an updated list either, but I have no way of getting rid of any of them. So that I will make a plugin that does that soon, or add it to one of my plugins, maybe. It's a really weird glitch. Anyway, so yeah, and if you walk up to him, maybe you can't see it. Anyway, so basically what happens is, see, if I have a spawn zombie egg, and let's just pick a random one, a cow, whatever. What happens is when anything spawns, if it's a zombie, it turns it into a zombie, and that'll only spawn one zombie, right? Now, if it's any other mob than a zombie, it will spawn 7 zombies. And I'll probably decrease that a little bit because it seems to be spawning way too many of them. And this is natural spawn and by spawners, everything. So if you go down, it's only zombies in the whole game. I generated the world before I made the plugin, so there are like a couple mobs, like some sheep, some chickens, that's about it. Now, I wonder if we do eggs. I wonder if, yeah, that'll spawn zombies. They're pissed. Alright, so as you can see, they're really fast. I think they're about 3 times faster than they normally are. It might be 4, and they will swarm at you. And this is good. Fuck. Let me go over here. Try and get away from them. Actually, I'm gonna turn off these shaders. I think they're lagging me too much. Alright. Maybe not. Alright, just kind of trying to get away from them. See, as you can see, they have like a really far radius. And they move really fast. See, there's even some more of them. More. They're all over the place. If you couldn't tell. Alright, this looks like a good spot. Hopefully. Yeah, I'm gonna have to change that. Alright, so let's just spawn one zombie. And we can test this. Now, when you kill him, it says PNS score, you have received $2 for killing a zombie. And as you saw up here, hopefully you saw, it says, I think it did at least. Let's spawn another one. I might have not set it up right this time. Yeah, as you can see, it increased your balance by 2, like it says. It also increased mobs by 1. So basically what this is doing, it's just a scoreboard that tells you your balance, as in in-game money, your, like, how many mobs you've killed, how many times you've died in your kills. And yeah, and as you saw, it kind of interrupted me a little bit. It says PNS lag. All drops were cleared up. So it's basically just my version of clear lag. It runs every 4 minutes, I believe, somewhere around there. 4.5, I believe it actually is. And we'll check here in a little bit. And that's all it really does, except for I've made a I have no essentials on here at all. I've kind of remade my own essentials and just went with the bare minimum of everything we needed on this server. And really, I should not have overridden the help command, because I kind of need that now. But what's here is you get heal, and it just heals you like normal one. Weather, which only toggles it off for some reason. I'm not sure why. And you got day. Oh, I can't type today. Sorry, guys. So it says here, it says, whoa, it seems to be day. And that's what it will say to you, unless you have the permission to see who has set it today. And that's the permission of pns.admin broadcast, I believe. So yeah, and then same thing with night. If I'll actually spell it right this time. Yeah, it says, whoa, it seemed to be, and then you won't see this if you're not opt. I wonder if I can do it in. No. Alright, so turn it back to day here, and I have my own TPA system. TPA para. Can't teleport to yourself. So maybe later I'll start up another Minecraft and show you guys that works. But really, you have TP accept and you have TP deny. Same thing as essentials, except for it just doesn't have everything. Like, there's no AFK, there's no anything else than that. There's no set homes yet. There will be at some point. I just don't see a purpose for them yet. So basically, this is the exact same as this zombie survival on my server right now. This is not on the server, by the way. This is on my private server, where I just test all my plugins and everything. And oh crap, I forgot what I was gonna say. So yeah, the main goal of this, I think I'm gonna change the goal of trying to get as more kills than deaths, because that just pisses off players right now. And I don't know. So I think the goal is going to be to get as much money as possible, kill as much mobs as possible, and maybe I'll add in rewards, like item rewards. So if you kill so many mobs, or you get so much money, then you'll get like a diamond or an emerald or multiple of them. I don't know, stuff like that. I'll also be adding in, if I don't know how many people know that there were backpacks on the server, and I decided to take them off because I felt like the plugin was not very good, and I felt like I could make a better plugin if I needed to, and I think I'll add it back in if I can. But yeah, so really, going back to this, it says you have received $2 for killing zombie. It needs an A there, actually. If you kill a player, you'll get $5. And it interrupted me again. So yeah, it's every 4 minutes, 4.5 minutes maybe. And you get 5 players, and it'll say you have received 5 players for killing what's his face, whoever you killed. And So yeah, that's basically the plugin right now. And now let's go over to the source file. Alright guys, I'm back, and so here's the source files for all the plugins that I made on the server. So we got the main plugin, which we're going to start out with real quick. And it's got one package, and it's just got main in it, and then it's got all the commands that you have in here. So we'll go over the main class first. If you don't want to watch what's going on, just end the video right now. It's not a big deal. You don't have to see any of this. This is just showing you how I did everything, what's going on when you type this command, everything else. So if you're interested in that, keep watching. Great. If you're not, go ahead and shut off the video. Do whatever you want. Anyway, so basically, when it starts up, it's going to do that, and then that. So let's get to an interesting part here. Alright, so when you join the server, I don't think you guys noticed, because I don't think I joined the server at the beginning of it. So when you join the server, it says welcome to, and it gets the server name, which is set in the config, and it says we hope you have a great time. So if you have not played before, if you have played before, it sends a message. Wait. If you've played before equals false. Has played before equals false. So yeah, this will happen if you join the server for the first time. So this one will happen if you join the server for the first time. Oop, 2 J's. Anyway, and then this will happen every time you join server. Alright, so it's going to send a message to you that says welcome back to the server name, and then it says it's going to send a message to everyone else that says welcome back to the server name. Welcome back your name to the server name, wherever that went. Yeah, so it says welcome back, display name, and get the server name. Alright, so what happens when you do TPA, I'm not sure exactly. This was a lot of learning from other things. Actually, I need to change these because I basically just copied and pasted most of this because I could not figure it out for the life in me. So actually, I'm not going to go over those because I don't know what I'm talking about. Alright, so let's go on to the day command. Alright, so what happens when you type /day if you have the permission PNS day? It's gonna get the world, and it's gonna, oh shit. Alright, it's gonna set the world time to 0, and it's going to say, whoa, it's times day. And like I said, you only admins that have this permission right here, this permission, anyone that has this permission will see who set it today. And then it's basically the same thing for night, but that'll come over in the next one. So downfall, I tried to set this to set it for if it's not raining or whatever, to set it to, you know, whatever it's called, to rain, but it didn't work, and it would, I don't know, it just never worked. I'll try and figure that out later for you people that like it to rain for whatever reason. And so what just happens, it just gets the world and just sets the storm to false, so there is no, it just overrides it and says no, you can't do that. And then for the game mode, just type GM. If you're in the survival game mode, it'll set you to creative. If you're in creative, it'll set you to survival. Heal command, basically type /heal, you have this permission. It sets your health and your food level to 20, and all this stuff is just pretty simple. The help command, which needs to be updated, I'm not even going to go over that. The night command, it's the same thing as the day command, except for it's nighttime and everything else, and it sets all that, it sets it to 14,000, all that stuff. I'll probably change that to right before it gets dark. That is not implemented anymore. Alright. On to the next plugin. We'll go over the lag plugin. save changes. Alright, so yeah, 4.5 minutes is what it's set to. 280. That's 280 seconds, and if I'm doing my math right, it's 4.5, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. And I'm not gonna go over the on enable that part stuff. Lag start, we'll start with that. Lag start just sets the number to 280. So I'll explain that in a second, actually. And then this is just creating it so that it'll run over and 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 over again. And so it has to run this permission only, or this method only, and it's getting number, which is set to 280, and if it's not equal to -1, it'll run what's inside these brackets. So it'll run this method, and it says if it's not equal to 0, then it'll make the number go down by 1, and it'll get world, and then it'll get the list of entities, and it'll cycle through them and then find out which ones are the items, and then it will remove them, as you can see here. Make sure we aren't deleting mob/players, loop the list, get the world, all that stuff, and then remove it. And then down here it just resets it to -1, so it'll stop that, so it won't run again, and delete everything twice. And then it sends out this message which just says all items have been cleaned up. All drops were cleaned up, actually, sorry. And then it does lag start, which resets it back to 280. And what did I just do? I didn't do anything. And yeah, that's basically all that one does. And then scoreboard, yeah. Alright, so scoreboard, this is really complicated if you have no idea what you're talking about. This is a lot of code, actually. As you can see, this one took probably the longest time. So right here, I think I'll take it out so that it's, let's say 4. Yeah. Alright. Back up to the top. Don't worry about what I just did. I'll explain it here in a second. Alright, so this is basically the scoreboard that you see on the side of your screen that is right here. Right there. Just wondering what I was doing. So you can see that it says, at the top it says, sets it to, this sets it to that color. Sets it to that color, and then it makes it go to uppercase. So it sets your name all to uppercase at the top of it, and then it's gonna display your balance by getting your balance from economy, and then economy rather than. It's gonna get your kills, it's gonna get your deaths, and it's gonna get your mob kills, and it's going to display them all right there. Back to the plugin. Anyway, so when you type /show, which is how you show the scoreboard and how you hide the scoreboard, I'll show you guys that real quick. So when you want to hide the scoreboard, you type /hide, and it'll take away the scoreboard. You want to show it, you type /show, and it tells you you're showing or hiding it, whatever you're doing, all that stuff. It's pretty cool, not very hard to do, whatever. And this is pretty complicated. I'm not quite sure I know what's going on. Random typing and hoping it works out, basically. It sets the scoreboard to the scoreboard up here. Alright. And then so this is confusing right here. It'll make a config file every single time if the config doesn't exist. And don't ask me how exactly it works that out. I don't know how exactly that works it out, but I know it happens. And it'll set the player kills and deaths and mob kills all to 0 if it does not exist. If the config does not exist at all, then it'll set it all to 0. as soon as you type /show. And then it'll save the config, and if that didn't happen, it'll just print out an error basically. So this is unused. If the command label is hide, so if you type /hide, then it will clear the slot in the sidebar, which will make it go away, and it'll say you've hidden the scoreboard. Down to here, this is just saving the config so that all your everything. Actually, I should probably take that out, but I'll do that in the next update and everything. It'll just save it all, and every single like second, I think it is, every single 1/20th of the second actually it is, because there's 20 ticks in every second in Minecraft, and since this is to save it every second, then that would have to be 20, so this would be 1/20th of the second. That's just saving it so that everything saves correctly. And then this is just setting up economy, making sure Vault's there to support everything, and this is where it gets a little complicated. Not really, actually. So on a player death, if a player dies, then it will run this method, and it'll set the death message to null, so it doesn't say this player has been slain by who. It'll just say, it'll send the killer, which is set by here. It gets k equals player.getKiller. So sends the killer a message saying you have received $5. Oh, you have received $5 for killing this person. And then it's dispatch a command saying money give killer's name 5. And that sends it to the console. And then this one, so if an entity dies at all, so like if a in this case a zombie, because there's only zombies on the server, but this is set up so that it'll run without zombies always spawning. Alright, so if it's an instance of a monster, so if the thing that died is an instance of a monster, and then if the killer is an instance of a player, making sure that the monster didn't die by sunlight or a cactus or fall damage, whatever else it could die by except for a player, it's ruled out right there. So only players can get this. It gets the killer and sends a message: you have received $2 for killing a, change that right now, alright, so yeah, for killing whatever the monster was. And then it'll dispatch the command money give player name 2, and then it'll set mob kills to, it'll add 1. Alright, then it'll set the scoreboard for killer to K, whatever, save the config. And then this, I'm not going to really go through just because I don't think you guys will get it. If you want to know anything more about that, tell me, and I'll do it. If a player dies event thing, a player death event, so this is just the main one to set up for kills, really. I just had to separate them because they were getting too clustered. So if a player isn't, if the killer is an instance of a player, then we run this stuff right here, and it says set deaths for the player, the person that died. You set it to +1, so it'll add 1 death on your scoreboard. It gets the killer, and it gets kills, and it adds 1 kill to your kills. This one, if it's not a player, then it just sets it all. That's just another way of setting everything nicely. This one, this is where the zombies start spawning. So on creature spawn event, which is mob spawning, all that other stuff, if the event, if the entity type is not equal to a zombie, so if it's not a zombie that spawns, then we're going to, this should actually be above it. Alright, Let's tidy it up a little bit. Alright, so it's going to cancel that event, so it's going to make it so that the mob does not spawn, and it's going to spawn like you saw me change in the beginning of this one. It's getting, oh my god, what did I just do? Oh, alright, I didn't do anything. So it's going to spawn 4 zombies. And, alright, so if the creature event is a zombie, so even if it's these, because that's just spawning a zombie, then it gets the entity and the entity type, and it checks for it's a zombie. It adds a potion effect of speed with the max value with a multiplier of 2, therefore adding it up to 4 times 4 speed. I believe that's what it is, yeah. And then this is just setting it so that the zombies don't burn in the daylight. So entity can burst event, checking if it's a zombie, and then it just cancels the event. Yeah, and that's it, guys. Thanks for watching.